40 chess. Yeah. 40 chess. 40 chess. Let's get it.
Yo, is that T-Dog?
40 chess. 40 chess. Hey. 40 chess. This a trade show. Patreon where the trades go. Tap in and watch. That's what you came for. Ain't gotta say my name. They know my name, bro.
What's good, man?
We got McNutted in ATM. Always start off the show with a trade from them. You should always make sure that your trade is in. Patreon, why not be a Patreon? Know you wish you could spend every day with them. Tap in and say what you gonna say with them. South Harmon can fill up a stadium. Next time you log in, make sure that you bring a friend. We about to kick off, let the day begin. Go follow the socials. 40 Chess FF is posted. If your trade is an F, you get roasted. Go like and subscribe for the crew. Apple, Spotify, and the YouTube. You know Cooper got the warp too. Let us give you a walkthrough. 40 Chess. This is 40 Chess.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Dynasty Trade Show. As always, I'm Mike. That's Adam. I gotta do it this way. It always throws me off, right? Left, right. I'm not good with my hands. Hope everybody's doing well. Just a reminder, if you want your deals featured, patreon.com/South Harmon. The $5 tier gets you access to the trade show. Drop them in. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome in. What we do here is we break down deals from real leagues that cost real money with real people, and we give real advice. We don't just slap a fresh coat of paint on something and call it our own. We make it our own. So here we go. Adam, you ready to do some Dynasty deals, buddy?
Man, I'm ready to go.
Too.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
almost forgot this part. Probably the biggest thing. 30% of the people who watch our videos aren't subscribed. What are you doing? Help us out. Come on. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Interact with us. And if you really want to be a part of the community, patreon.com/South Harmon. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
salesman.
I won't lie. I mean, listen, you tune in, 30% of you see Mike or myself, and you don't want to sub. I get it. I totally understand. But do it for South Harmon then. Do it for the shitheads. You know, if not for us, do it for them. You know,
Adam, I can tell you this. We did a giveaway at 1,000 subs because it was such a big deal for us.
Yeah.
If we hit 5,000 subs, I am going to go nuclear, ballistic. RIP company credit card, son. The giveaway on that one will be ridiculous.
As if the company credit card stands much of a chance currently, but it definitely is dead then.
It's not Expo week. We're good.
Every week is Expo week. Not really. But yeah, if you want your deals featured, patreon.com/South Harmon. Also, if you could, go check out southharmonff.com/warp. You'll notice we talk an awful lot about warp. If you're new to that or that's new to you, go check that out. It can seriously help you win your leagues. $6.90 a month. If you're playing in anywhere upwards of 2 leagues, that investment is going to smash for you. So last and final push for you before we get into what we always do. We start off with one of our own. We start off with Iowa, Michael.
Oh, no, what'd I do?
We don't know. We're going to find out. It's normally ever good, to tell you the truth, but let's see. So we got Josh Jacobs, Michael Pittman, Cole Kmet, and Romeo Doubs being acquired by Mike. A cast of characters here for a 24 first, 24 second, 25 first, 25 second, and 25 fifth. I like the fifth being thrown in there. Essentially, we got a first and a second in both 24 and 25 sent away for these 4 characters. So, Mike, as a 12-team Superflex PPR best ball start 11, shit boredom. Somebody must have been bored making a trade like this. What do we got, man? Talk to us.
We were bored. It's also a different scenario, too, from this year, from last year for me, anyways. A lot of these best ball startups, you know, we always pick direction early, and we were pushing all their picks in. And here we are, damn. Week 6, week 7, and I'm still holding on to all my 24 picks already. It just, at some point, some of my leagues, I'm like, all right, let's go.
It's kind of like that company credit card. Eventually was burning a hole in Mike's pocket. He had to get rid of this thing,
man.
You know?
It's got to go. As you can see, Joe Will, rebuilding. You don't take all this back if you're competing, right? Like in the best ball league, there's no chance. Like you're not getting rid of 4 pieces that are have potential of making your lineup because you wanted 24
I mean,
and 25 first.
I would hope not in best ball, but hey,
suboptimal.
I have seen all sorts of things, Mike.
All right, so let's talk about it from Chill Will's aspect, right? I'll take myself out of it, and then we can dunk on me later. If you're Chill Will, for this package that you're getting, the 2 firsts, the 2 seconds from a team that is trying to contend or currently contending, is this enough for you? You try to milk it a little bit more, or do you go, I'm good, I get off this stuff?
If I'm liquidating, right? Pittman, I got to get a first for. I think once I get a first for him, the rest I can have discussions for. Like, I want to get a first for Jacobs, but the truth is, I think the reality is that he's not truthfully guaranteed to get one, and I'm not trying to hold that asset for long. So if I get my first for Pittman, and I need at least, I would say, 2 seconds for Jacobs. So if I just did that, right? If I did 2 seconds and then the first, now I have still a first to play with and a fifth. Mike, I think if you got me a first for Jacobs already, like if you just gave me a first for Pittman, a first for Jacobs, boom, check those boxes off. Then you tell me Kmet's a second and Romeo Doubs a second. Like I'm more than happy getting off these guys in a rebuild for this type of liquidity. So I'm not saying you made a bad deal. I think that I think that for Chill Will's side, this is, if you are going to sell these assets, this is, I mean, in best ball, about as good as you're going to fucking do. Like, I really think that's the case. Like, you're not going to get much more. Now, you could argue more than a first for Pittman, but outside of him, I don't think anyone here demands, like, you got to have a first. Jacobs obviously is close.
Right. We went back and forth about 47 times on this offer, too, and copious amounts of vodka, at least on my half.
So 48, you kind of All right.
Once you get that third or fourth vodka in you, then you relax a little bit, you loosen up. We
were 2 counters from 50 Shades of Grey, right?
50 Shades of McNutted. Let's do it. For my aspect, though, kind of like how you broke it down, I'm thinking Jacobs first, right? Just if you want to say it's the 25, I just put it out there. I really like Michael Pittman, and I really liked him with Anthony Richardson. I like him even more with Gardner Minshew. Not that I think Gardner Minshew, don't take this the wrong way, I don't think Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson, but he brings a different dynamic to the offense as far as throwing the football like a ton, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to vulture goal line work. He's not going to vulture a lot of rushing yards and first downs, right?
Stylistically different,
Very, very stylistically different, right? So, like, in order for Michael Pittman to score fantasy points, I want the most amount of opportunity for him to be the one because, it's my scoring. It's a league I set up. You're getting points for first downs, right? Like, to get the most amount of first downs, I need the quarterback to throw the ball to Michael Pittman, not run it himself, all right? So, Michael Pittman, I would say just generically, I'm kind of with you. He's definitely worth a first, at least a first. And I'm kind of willing to tack a second on if I have to. So for me, when I'm looking at it, and this is vodka eyes, 25 first gone for Josh Jacobs. Okay, we're fair, we're copacetic. 24 first, 24 second for Michael Pittman. A little steep, but I'm kind of willing to upgrade at the wide receiver position, add another body. Cole Kmet comes in for a 25 seconds and, the fifth or whatever, for him and Dobbs. Even though I'm not a Dobbs fan, like, if I were to package them all together, I feel even better about the overpay for Michael Pittman. I'm like, best ball, here we go. Give me 4 pieces. You can just have draft picks. I don't have to send shit back, right? I just cut 4 turds off my roster, and now we're good.
I like it. Mike's looking at this. He's doing the math with some vodka eyes, and he's saying to himself, where art thou, Romeo? He thinks he's getting him for free here. And, I mean, you could definitely argue that Romeo is kind of being thrown into the deal here. I think it really depends on what you believe Jacobs goes for in a league like this. If it's closer to a first, Mike, you definitely made out on this deal pretty well. If people are basically like, nah, I'm not paying a first for Jacobs in this league without you doing this, I think maybe you gave him more than he ever would have gotten. I think that's probably the crux of the deal is what would the other 10 people in this league value Jacobs as? Because that's Pittman and Kmet are pretty solidified to me. Pittman's a first, Kmet's a second, Romeo's I want him on my best ball teams, but I don't really care about his value. So
Right.
I think the deal falls on Jacobs. And I think this is also a good time to talk about, like, if you do have liquidity and you do have the ability to make a trade like this in best ball, like, this is probably a deal that helps both of you guys right now. Obviously, you
Right.
have a little more risk as far as players getting hurt, but you also have all these picks that weren't scoring you any points at all. And now you have 4 people that literally could go in your lineup any given time.
And here's the thing, too. Like, you take stock of your team, even though I was drinking, right? I take stock of my team, and I go, how am I constructed in this best ball league? This is a fresh startup from over the summer. I'm looking at my assets, and I'm going, man, Christian McCaffrey's balling out of his mind. Now, this is before he might miss some time. He might not miss anything. We don't really know, but he's balling out of his mind. I got Saquon Barkley. I got Derrick Henry. Okay. Already I'm looking at him going, my running back room is old. I mean, we look at running backs in 1 year windows anyways, but why not maximize these guys, right?
Right,
You got
right.
Kenneth Walker, Zeke, Jerome Ford, and I'm going, how can I continue to keep adding to this? Like Jacobs,
Yep.
could I add him? Right? We're starting 11. It's not like super deep, but it's best ball, so you know how much I love depth. Right? I just love having options. And probably the biggest thing is when I looked at my wide receiver room, at the top, I'm great with quarterbacks. Let me throw that out, right? Patrick Mahomes, great start, right? Like,
Right.
that's the quarterback you want to have. And then Mac Jones, C.J. Stroud has been nice, and R.I.P. Ryan Tannehill. Like, it was nice while I had you for the first, 5.5 weeks occasionally.
Salute you for your service. Thank you, sir.
But the wide receiver room, it was like D-Hop, Terry McLaurin, Michael Thomas, right? Typical Mike, how I build my wide receiver rooms. Just a bunch of dudes
wide
on
receiver
rosters.
2, maybe,
Right. And it was the same thing because it's a fresh startup over the summer. You're not always going to get everything that you want right off the bat. It's really hard to make a complete team. My tight end room was, held together by Taysom Hill and Hope, right? Jonnu Smith and Will Dissly. And you're going like Cole Kmet would be almost a weekly in my lineup, right? Whether he's a difference maker or not, he's better than the shit I have most times than not. So you're looking at it, you're in a position. I don't think I'd lost more than one game against the median up until this point, Adam. I'm going, the team's ready. My running backs are on the older side. Why am I still holding picks, right? If I can get a deal done that makes sense to me, makes sense to the person who wants to sell off the pieces, let's pull the trigger, let's push all in, and let's make a run for it. And this is going to be one of those you're going to see maybe in 5 weeks. I go, man, Jacobs got hurt. Pittman, him and Gardner could never get on the same page. Cole Kmet evaporated as soon as Justin Fields left the field, and Romeo Doubs is who we thought he was. That, and now I'm down all my picks, which in 24 may not be a big deal because I may have won enough games where it's 109, 108 at worst. But then 25 all of a sudden doesn't look as rosy. You're going, oh boy. Oh boy. But it's a gamble, and it's a gamble apparently with 3 vodkas in me I'm definitely willing to make.
I like it. I've got this visual ever since he started talking about his tight end room of, he's doing an infomercial, and he's got Flex Seal, and he's got Cole Kmet just pacing over that hole right there, plugging that up, and he's good to go.
Cole Kmet,
Flex Seal, Cole Kmet, McNutted. Let's go. I love this.
I swear if you make a thumbnail of that of me slapping Cole Kmet,
it's going to be happening, man. Don't you worry, buddy.
Oh,
it may not be today. It's going to be somewhere. All right, we're going to make that visual definitely take place. All right, we got Polar's Express getting a 24 first, a 24 second from Schlumpf. Schlumpf always seems to be having the picks and trading the picks away. Now, these are his own. But he's acquiring Devontae Adams, David Njoku, Michael Thomas, and Ryan Tannehill. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR Best Ball Start 12, the Best Ballers Dynasty.
Here's the thing for me in best ball. You want multiple pieces, and you can look at hindsight with Ryan Tannehill the way it is, and you go, Adam, we don't really know. Maybe in 3 weeks he's back being the starting quarterback, and he's still scoring fantasy points. Like, nothing's going to be out of the question, really, with this Titans team. Or he could be shut down for the rest of the year, and they go, we're tanking the shit out of it. Here you go, Malik Willis. Here you go, Will Levis. It's your thing, and we're done with Tannehill. But the thing is, you got one asset at least where you go, Devontae Adams and the way he plays and the amount of fantasy points he scores. If I'm on a contender, he's almost worth that late first and that second, even in a best ball league. Now, the beauty of it is best ball, so you throw in 2 other assets that aren't completely worthless, like Michael Thomas and a David Njoku, and this is a contender's move in best ball. Like, this is what I would do. We just saw it, right? Take a couple assets, especially draft pick. If you have the liquidity or you still have it laying around, you go get 4 pieces. You add them to your best ball team, and you go, these 4 zeros that were sitting on my bench, get out. You guys are worthless. I don't need to speculate on you anymore. And now I have 4 options that weekly have the potential to make my lineup. And this one's even deeper, right? A start 12, add another roster spot to it. So love it.
Yeah, man.
Love it from his sense. I think maybe if I was Polar Express, here's the thing when you're rebuilding. Sometimes you just got to take what's there, right? You can do this song and dance about holding out for value and maximizing everything, but, if you're rebuilding, get the points off your team and get rid of assets that can go to 0 or be almost worthless. Like, who's trading for Ryan Tannehill today in a best ball league as a contender?
Yeah,
nobody.
No,
nobody.
To that, I agree. Let me say this: I agree with that point. The point of there are times you have to take what you don't think is full boat, right? Because you have to get off people. Now, to the point you just made, today Ryan Tannehill is probably worth nothing. See, now, one thing I will tell you is I'm not in the market of giving away shit, because the way I look at this is David Njoku's worth a second. Like, straight up, best ball, second minimum to me. In best ball, you can't argue anything lower. Adams is worth a first.
Could. Yeah, he hadn't been that good.
That's fine. Like, I'm not sending. I would buy David Njoku on every build, probably even lineup for a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
So, like, he's worth a second. Now, is it like, oh my God, I got to get rid of the second for him? No.
You just needed to take away that adjective before where you said at least a second. It's like,
okay, he's worth a second. He's worth a second.
Okay.
David Njoku's worth a second. Devontae Adams is worth a first. So let's remove the at least, and let's talk about where the fuck is the at least for these 2 assets in best ball that can score. And Ryan Tannehill doesn't. Let's say he doesn't score for 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You telling me you're guaranteeing me Ryan Tannehill doesn't play quarterback for somebody next year? I don't know if you guys have seen the cast of characters being marched out there. My Cleveland Browns just got a guy off the street, essentially. All right? Like, Ryan Tannehill's not dead even for this season. It's week 7, people. Would you be surprised, Mike, to see Mike Vrabel be like, nah, man, like, I've seen enough of Willis and Levis for these whatever weeks they're going to be. Like, Tannehill's our starter when he's ready to go.
No, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Not at all. Michael Thomas, I mean, talk about, the return of the dead. I mean, Michael Thomas is actually okay this year. Like, these are pieces that are worth something. A 3rd. Shit, can you give me a 4th? Like, I'll take a discount, but I am not taking free, because free is like, okay, when Tannehill's hurt, he's worth more than this. Like, it's just, that's my big problem with the Polar Express.
I'm not as hard on him or her or them, whatever.
I'm hard on them all right? I grade trades as they should be, which is in best ball, start 12. Come on, Mike. You just talked about depth. This is not worth 2 pieces of assets coming back. Now, again, if you can get a 3rd and a 4th even, I don't love it, but you got something. You got to get something for Thomas and Tannehill. I'm not just going to give them to you for free so you can have Adams and Njoku at fair price.
I don't know, man. These are all old assets that go to 0 in a heartbeat.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me softening up, right? I'm getting more soft, but on my rebuilders, Adam, like, I'm not a stone hand anymore about holding for maximum value. Like, you give me 60, 70, 80%. Like, if this is the best I can do, I'm going to float offers out to other people, right? I'm going to shop. And that's probably where I do most of my work is on my rebuilders. Like, those are the ones that I concentrate most on. And if that's the case, like, I probably have a good idea what the market is. And if I do, then all right, like, here you go. Like, this is the best I could do. Fine. I don't know. Would you like to see more? Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. Like, let's talk about, I don't know. Let's go back. Let's go back 2 trades ago and tell me how the hell 4 assets, which are Michael Pittman's younger, but Jacobs could go to, not zero, but low quick. A lot of these other assets are not guaranteed value. And we got a 24 and a 25 second on both sides of them. Now, I'm not saying this is the exact same value. You got more value, but the principle is there's, 4 for 4 and 5 for 4 there? This is 2 for 4.
Express ain't as good as a negotiator as Chill. Like,
well, then damn it, that's my point.
I was on the vodka. He knew I was on the sauce. That he knew the floodgates were open.
That's exactly the point, man. Negotiating skills, whatever the tactics are, whatever the reasoning is, I will allow it. But I will tell you, it's not good enough. This is just there's no way you should be making a trade of this caliber in best ball. Now, if this is lineup, I can totally have a different conversation because you're saying, like, I'm just trying to get off of these old assets, which probably I don't get anything for anyway. In best ball, every piece matters to me. So, big difference for me in that one.
Fair. I said I don't totally disagree with you. I'm just a little bit more easy on old Polar Express here.
Sorry, Polar Express. It ain't Christmas. Get the fuck out of here. All right, Chill Will 82.
Chill Will.
Let's go. A.J. Brown, Luke Musgrave, Jordan Addison. Benny Fowles getting Justin Jefferson in a third, Mike. Okay. A.J. Brown and Jordan Addison. Or, and don't let me dismiss Luke Musgrave, although this is a lineup league. And Justin Jefferson in a third. 12-team Superflex PPR lineup start 10, the dirty dozen. I can tell you this was one that was discussed with me in DMs, and I told him I kind of liked it as is, and I see he worked a little extra in there. So what do you think here?
Even if he didn't work extra in there, if you just went A.J. Brown and Jordan Addison for Jefferson, it's the A.J. Brown and Addison side by $1 billion, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, it's definitely that side given the injury from me. Yeah,
I want to acquire Justin Jefferson, right? But I'm not giving you this. Like, here you go, man. I'm not giving you this. I'm not letting you off the hook. So this is pretty easy for me, man. If I'm a contender and I had to pivot off of Justin Jefferson, even in a lineup start 10, I'm pivoting one to his teammate, who's a rookie, who has crazy insulated value every time he does anything, and A.J. Brown, who's putting up a monster year, right? Yeah. This is even factored in Luke Musgrave lineup start 10. I really don't give a shit about at all.
Yeah.
I'm good, man. That's the A-Warp tight end life. That's the guy I sell anytime somebody's like, I'll give you a third for him. He's yours.
Yeah.
Go. Have fun.
I see that's the piece that he worked in. And I mean, honestly, you could probably make the case that you'd rather just keep the third here. I will say, though, for a lot of people that aren't about the A-Warp life, or if the league's not fully bought into that, like Musgrave typically has a market that's higher than that. You know, sexy enough, young, has done enough that people might pay more. So I could see it more for flippability, or shit, maybe you have one of these teams where you just didn't really have anything else at tight end, and you're like, nah, give me this too, and we're good. Either way, that piece is ancillary for me. The third and Luke Musgrave, I think, in value are similar. Right now, Musgrave might be tantalizing for some people if they're still buying tight ends or trying to chase the next big thing. The big part of it, though, A.J. Brown and Addison for Jefferson. So right now, if you have Justin Jefferson and you're contending, it's one of the hardest things to navigate, because Justin Jefferson doesn't only project it so far into the year before the injury game. If you just looked at his WARP, he wasn't the clear runaway like he was last year in WARP, right? Wins over replacement player. He wasn't the strongest, but he poses still the ability to be the most differentiating wide receiver in points per game in WARP, right? He still can be that, and he's young. So the market for him is just ridiculous. Now, that's all well and good when he's playing. But when he's not, and you're a contender, and he's not just not playing, he's on IR. I mean, he's going to miss 4 weeks. Yeah. Middle of the season, during bye weeks, in a lineup start 10, unless you're just, oozing with frickin' depth and studs, you may not be able to, navigate all that without Justin Jefferson in there, right? Just next guy up, New England style. You get to pivot to A.J. Brown, who in points per game, in difference-making WARP, could be every bit of Justin Jefferson, if not more. And you get Jordan Addison. It's not ever going to probably feel good to sell Justin Jefferson unless you're getting something like this. And if I'm getting something like this, I'm happy as could be. I know people probably don't do this when he's healthy, but I'm telling you right now in lineup start 10, I'm considering doing this trade even when Justin Jefferson's healthy. So when he's hurt, I'll take this for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good point here about him. If he's healthy, right? We're in the ballpark, at least.
Yeah.
We're playing the same sport. We're on the same field.
Right. We're at least in negotiation talks. I mean, right here. Right?
This is why it's so bad when he's injured, right? Not only are you missing that time, but to Adam, I mean, we talked about it right after, and you and I got into a nice little disagreement about it. But then the reports came out that, after 4 to 6 weeks on IR, whenever the case is, they're going to re-image his hamstring and then decide what he's going to do for the rest of it. And Adam, you're looking at potential of 4, 5, maybe 6 losses for the Vikings between now and then, where they're just completely done, like it's over with. And if I'm Jefferson, it's like, I ain't coming back and risking shit, man. I ain't risking another hammy. I ain't getting this injury label. Like, I'm just shutting this shit down. Pay me my money.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, you can't guarantee it, but if that happened, nobody could be shocked, right? If they had a big skid and he's not considering coming back.
See, I kind of had that opinion, so I sent out some offers thinking maybe other people shared that sentiment, and obviously they all got declined, and people were like, I'm a contender, but I ain't selling. He's coming back, blah, 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 blah. It's Justin Jefferson. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to bookmark this one, and I'll come back and see you here in about 3 or 4 weeks when those L's on your fantasy team start piling up, when they start taking a toll, and then we'll see. And I tell you what, the price wasn't A.J. Brown and Jordan Addison when I sent you, and I guarantee in 3 or 4 weeks when your butthole relaxes a little bit, it sure as hell won't be A.J. Brown and Jordan Addison. You'll be lucky to get Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Give you Jordan Addison and Luke Musgrave.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, right, part of the problem and part of the tough part of navigating him is, like, when you get an offer like this, the reason you have to basically just take it and not even think twice in my mind is, when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson in a lineup start 10, right? Like, if you're a contender and he's part of it, like, he's probably a big piece of the reason you're a contender. So you're not just trying to trade away this giant dynasty value, but you're also having to realistically look and say, like, are the pieces I'm getting back here really plugging the gaps? Are they the flex seal, as Mike would say, right? Are they the flex seal to really plug this thing up so we can keep this train going? And the reality is, a lot of times I think the offers that would come in for Jefferson don't look like this. So then you ask yourself that question, and you're like, I don't think the Aiyuk and whatever it is, right? I'm just throwing out names here, like, actually gets me the replacement wins that I need. Like, it might not actually help me win the games. And then at that point, you're having a much different conversation about should I trade Jefferson or not right now. When you get a guy like A.J. Brown who can give you exactly the same points and you get a young plus, how would you not be willing to take this deal, man? It's crazy. I mean,
right.
I know it's Jefferson, but dude, there's exceptions for any player, including Patrick Mahomes. And for a receiver, this is too easy. So I personally am there. If you guys disagree, let us know in the comments. Hey, we want to hear it. I know Jefferson's got a crazy market, so tell us. Speaking of Jefferson. Looks like we got a thumbnail. Maybe we got an injury thumbnail. Oh, man. We're in the same lane, Mike, but this time
even better.
I mean, listen, I don't do this much, and I'm going to drag this old school, but, like, look at this, people. Addison is the plus here, and you're going from tier 1, I would say, to tier 2, right? Mm-hmm. Breece is the plus here, and you're going from Amon-Ra or Jefferson in tier 1 to Amon-Ra in tier 2. Like, listen, I know these guys are not Justin Jefferson, but they're not far off, man. No. They're not like miles, and it's insane that this is happening when he's injured, man.
Yep. It's nuts. This one's easy for me. It's all the same analysis, just back to back. And for me personally, lineup start 11, I will take Breece Hall over Jordan Addison. Like,
yeah, I think there's a real discussion there. I probably would lean Breece too, just because.
I ain't leaning, man. I already jumped that line.
All right. I mean, I would say this though, right? The other thing about this second trade that's better, even if I would take Breece Hall ahead of Jordan Addison, I'm with you. But lineup start 10 and lineup start 11, Mike, this is a lineup start 11 league. You need to fill another spot here. So you get to get 2 guys in for year 1 Injured player?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please. Shit lineup. I love that.
Not affiliated with me. I did not start that league. I do not run that league. I do not commission that league.
I know that you don't, and I just love the fact that like we're calling it someone's naming their league a shit lineup, man. That's all I need to know. You know, that's good stuff
me,
there, buddy.
I don't do lineups. Pass.
I do lineups all the time. They just set themselves. It's called best ball. All right. 12-team Superflex PPR.
Somebody took that shit league and they just slapped a fresh coat of paint on it, called it a lineup league, and we're like, here, this is ours now.
Shit lineup. I like the way you think. 12-team Superflex PPR, 0.75 tight end premium. Lineup start 10. We're in lineup lane, man. They're in Hickory Valley today. Jahan Dotson and a 24 first or Stephon Diggs here, Mike.
Unless that 24 first is a rebuilder's early, which I highly doubted if the guy's buying Stephon Diggs for his 24 first.
Right.
His, hers, whoever's it is. This is Stephon Diggs by all means. Like the Jahan Dotson thing was fun for a while, man, but glad I didn't like drumbeat that way too hard. I'm sure people will go and dig up every damn clip of me being rosy on Jahan Dotson. But not good, man. You thought I hated Gabe Davis, man. We might come to a point here where I'm dunking on Jahan Dotson. Like, can you fucking do something?
Well, it's interesting because so we're sitting there draft night of 2022, and Jahan Dotson gets drafted in the first round to Washington. And if you remember, speaking of the trade prior, A.J. Brown got traded to Philly within a few picks of this, and it completely overshadowed him being drafted in the first round. Mike and I were kind of in on Jahan Dotson, more so at cost, right, with the idea of, you know, he might be someone you can have later in drafts. He gets that first-round capital. We're a little excited. We're kind of probably at that time, you know, beating the drum for Jahan Dotson relative to other people. And like, that's a long time ago, man. The draft is 22. We're in the 23 season, dude. So his 22 season and his rookie campaign was like low volume, touchdown upside at times, right? Splash plays. He missed a lot of time, and he was extremely inconsistent.
He was sexy Rashid Shaheed.
Right. He was, right. And the thing is, a lot of the metrics that you want to chase were already not really necessarily in his profile, right? It was a dicey one. There was some good, some bad. And then you have that rookie year that was very non-predictive, I'll call it, okay? Not something you really want to bet on in process. And the wildest thing, in the middle to back half of this offseason, like after the draft and as the season's starting to approach, Jahan Dotson's price just started upticking and upticking and upticking. And I'm like looking at Keep Trade Cut and like, what is happening? Like, I like Dotson, but I liked him when he was, you know, wide receiver 40-ish, and I can get him at a discount. He was creeping into the 20s, and the love for him, like, is so weird for me, like, given all that and how that happened. Now looking at it, Mike, and to your point, like, this is, I'm trying to give everybody a little deeper context into how this went from a love-hate thing with Jahan Dotson. And, you know, T-Rock's trying to sell me Dotson. I thought you loved Dotson. Well, T-Rock, keep up, buddy. We do almost a show a day now, all right? That was a long, long time ago, buddy. Hate Dotson, all right? You could throw him in here. Yes, I will take the dig side. Goodbye. Thank you for, I mean, I don't even know if I can call it your services. Thank you for showing up. You basically, you know, you went to training. You did everything you needed to in the process. You didn't earn $1 for us, and it's time for you to go.
How about this? When you think of Jahan Dotson, don't you also just think of Elijah Moore? Like, are we on that same arc, right?
Oh, buddy, that's scary.
Okay, did some things his rookie year. You know, wasn't like super hyped coming in.
Yeah.
And then he had this crazy elevation, and now we're seeing year 2 Elijah Moore just straight down.
I mean,
so don't worry. Next year, at some point when he gets traded to Cleveland, we'll be talking about, well, I sneakily like Jahan Dotson.
Get him out of here. We don't want him in Cleveland, all right?
It's coming. It's coming. I know it.
Man, stop.
Mm-mm-mm.
Look at this, bro.
What did we do?
12-team Superflex PPR, a half point tight end premium, man.
Mm-hmm.
A half point tight end premium or less is inconsequential. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. Half point tight end premium leagues or less are inconsequential in difference of that position. Okay? Best ball start 11, best ball mania. Sam Lagoda or Cooper Kupp, man.
You know how much I love Sam LaPorta, man, but one of the reasons I really love Sam LaPorta is because apparently you can get shit like this done. This is Cooper Kupp all day, right? This is Cooper Kupp, I don't know, 8 days out of the week. There's only 7. It's only actually 7, but it would be 8. Shit, you make it 14 if you want. Double it up.
The old adage is, twice on Sunday, right? And shit, man, I'll take him more than twice on Sunday. This is the guy that's playing all the slates. I'll take him on Thursday. I'll take him on Monday. The 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
This is stupid.
Dude, so the other thing, too, is this is a best ball league, okay? So, I am not advocating, for the record, before I say anything, I am not advocating for the Sam LaPorta in any capacity, in any league, of any circumstance when it's a half-point tight end premium. Even if it's more, I'm not. But in a half-point tight end premium, if you're telling me, just remove that. If it's a lineup league and you're telling me you think Sam LaPorta is Travis Kelce difference maker level, that's who he's going to be, I won't do this trade. But in that one, you could have your debate with yourself and you could make this type of a trade. This is best ball. Did y'all see the trade Mike made? Get the Flex Seal, man. You'll never be upset. You just patch that thing together. You don't have to go get the big expensive thing. You can just fix what you already got. This is
dumb.
This is Mike, this is not best ball mania. This is maniacal. This is fucking tragic.
I see why it's so hard for me to get deals done with B Hall, right? Because he gets shit like this all the time. So he has this false sense of entitlement.
I like how in October, right, or it might even be a little before that, but they start putting these emojis in that are seasonal. And I never really remember specifically which ones are which. But all I know is this, whatever this is, has the widest eyes. And I think I had wider eyes in this thing when I saw this trade. This is just, get it out of here, B Hall.
Yuck.
Out here parading this thing like it's just a normal trade. Good deal, buddy. 12-team Superflex, PPR, lineup start 10, NFL Blitz. All right, Romeo's back. Romeo in a second or Pacheco in a third, Mike?
Pacheco in the third. Lineup start 10. Wide receivers like Romeo Doubs
they grow on trees.
Yeah. How about that? That was a nice way of me saying they don't fucking matter. I like your way better, though. It's much more eloquent and nicer and doesn't make you seem like an asshole. So I like how you queued that one up to make me look like the asshole. So
well, you made me look like an asshole to Polar Express, so I had to get you back, buddy. You know?
That's fair. This is Isaiah Pacheco in the third. I'll do the swap. I get the third round pick back. Yes, I do give up the second, but I give up an inconsequential piece that doesn't really matter. And Pacheco's been balling, and he's a running back. And then lineup start 10, I can work him in various. I actually have some Pacheco. I kind of wish I would have had some more, and I didn't, shit on him so much. But here we are, man. Decent enough buy, especially on that offense with what he's doing. Yeah, lineup start 10. It's Isaiah Pacheco by, 50 bustlings.
Yeah, I mean, because, well, to your point, like, you talked a lot about the value, and I think the value does stack up relative to what it is. And the roster construction was really what you were kind of hitting on, where it's you want the running back, you don't want the receiver. You want the running back in this range, you don't want the receiver roster clogger of Romeo Doubs. And so the way I look at this is this. In a lineup start 10, I don't want to have the expensive running backs, right? I want to have more stacked receivers. And I want to sell off my trailing ones or my middling ones that can actually get me legitimate draft capital liquidity back or higher end assets. And I definitely want to sell the Romeo Doubs. So if you just think about it that way, and then all my liquidity that's not first, second round picks, these receivers, I'm trying to then find a way to move that value into the running back space and just keep filling and churning that position over and over. When you have that mindset, like I will buy Pacheco for a second in the league like this, straight up every time. In any receiver that's in the Dobbs range, I'm taking a third back every time. So if you just look at this, like that's exactly what you did. Like in one trade, you knocked this out of the park. And when you look at a deal like this, right? Like, I think a lot of people may look at this and say it's like close in value. Good. I hope you think that, because I want the side that I get here when I take that Pacheco side. So I think this is very well done by Pasta.
Over the last 4 weeks, Pacheco has this like floor of 17 touches at the running back, 17 touches in a Kansas City Chiefs offense that's, usually playing as ahead from ahead, in the red zone quite often. What more do you really want, right? And you've seen in the last 4 weeks, now the first 2 weeks of the season, not the greatest, but the last 4 weeks, he's going to be like an RB 14 almost every single week, if not a little bit better, with chances of spike weeks with multiple touchdowns. So, this is pretty easy. Romeo Doubs does not give you that nice, consistent floor or the upside. It just doesn't happen. So, at all.
Yeah. It's well done, man. I like it quite a bit. Pasta, congrats on the trade. That's pretty easy for me. All right. So we got, by the way, 9E. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here, but 25 first. 2 of them for DeVonta Achane. Mike, what do you think here? 2 first for a guy on the shelf. Now, I'll give it to you. Achane's a guy on the shelf I still like quite a bit, but it's 2 first. The only thing to remember here now, let's kind of backtrack a titch here. 1 quarterback, 1 QB. So the Superflex thing, I'm out. I'll tell you the truth right now. I'm pretty sure Mike was going to be with me. 2 first, you can have basically any running back out there right now.
How about this though?
1 QB.
There's a little IDP mixed in, right? IDP mixed in here. But one of the good things about our warp tool compared to some other things is we can actually see if defense matters.
Yeah.
How much they matter. We actually get a warp graph for that. Adam, 1 QB generally, if this was no IDP whatsoever, I'm going, these picks are a little too gross in 1 QB. They just don't really matter. You're already small start 8 offense, right? You look at it and you go, and does a 111, 112, and a 1 QB really mean shit? No. Even though Achane's hurt, I'd probably rather just roll out Achane, right? That's a dude who can spike and win me weeks. And I know I talk about it like it's best ball, but you still want those spikes and those week winning upside from players in lineup leagues specifically. I don't know, Adam. This is going to come down whether this IDP means shit or not. And, there's only 3 of them. But as you've seen with my IDP league, sometimes you do it to the point where, holy shit, they really do matter. So maybe these first-round picks actually have a little value if there's some defensive players in there.
Yeah, I'm looking here. So I just think about it, though, Mike, and I think about scarcity. 3 defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you're talking 36 starters. It feels like the scarcity on defense, I can find somebody that doesn't cost me astronomical prices,
Spoiler alert. It only took me 2 seconds of looking at that graph to go, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I figured so. So
there's not a single one.
Nope. And yeah.
Adam, it's not good when even the linebacker position, the premier position in IDP, right? Those guys who play in 3-4, or even those middle linebackers who put up a shit ton of tackles, are below tight ends in warp by quite a bit. And you know how much we hate the tight end position. So there's your answer. So if I had to choose right now, I'd rather just have Achane.
100%.
25 first and 1 QB where defense doesn't matter at all.
And I'll go back and I'll one of the main words you mentioned there was spike. And I want you to think about, this is a lineup start 8, okay? So when we have 3 defense, I'm still navigating and learning more about the IDP waters. I'll come out and be the first to tell you, for a lot of the players, a lot of the analysis, I'm not the expert. However, I can tell you a lot of the roster construction things I study all the time. 3 defense, I can guarantee you, you're going to have to do what Mike did, where you're basically making the elite players spike so hard that it would ever matter. 3 defense, there's not enough scarcity for this to matter, man. And so I just kind of, like I say, I don't equate that, but when I talk about values, I don't equate the defense. So when you think about 8 starters, okay, and it's 1 quarterback, like this is super shallow, and it's all about skill players, not named tight end. So this is running back and receiver. I don't differentiate as much as I would in like a Superflex league, right? DeVonta Achane is one of the highest spike, you could argue the highest spike potential, like league winning type stuff in a lineup start 8. That's exactly what I want. I look at the simulator, by the way, that you get with the Warp Tool. If you do take a look at the Warp Tool, simulator will break down for you kind of projection of the league and where it's at currently and what it projects future forward. Interesting part here is that Knutson O is projected essentially 3rd in wins at 8.96999999. Okay. Now, the crazy part is currently projected to be 6th in the standing. So this, I think, is a move where the interesting part is I think he might need some wins to stack up to get there, but they think his team's very good and very well built. So, like, I don't know if he's going to make the playoffs or not, or if that's baked into here at all, but this is, to me, a guy that's already one of the better teams as far as the way he's roster constructed. You add in a league like this, one of the best potential spike weeks at running back to that team, like, I'll forego the picks. Now, the one thing to note here also is that these 2 picks are not his own, which is, I love these type trades, right? We get all these different throw-ins and wrenches. Like, the one interesting part is that, again, this simulator has Bergen War Machines, which is BW6, as a potential top 3 pick. However, for wins, he's up pretty high. So, like, I don't know if that pick actually can be top 3 or not, but I'm okay with it because the other one is much more late. Like, as long as you don't send away Marvin Harrison in a deal like this, like if you send away Marvin Harrison, you screwed up. But if you don't do that, like if you send away Rocket Sanders ends up being, and the 112, you're fine, man. Like in a 1 quarterback, you're fine here. Achane still could probably beat the combo of that in a lineup start 8. So I love that side.
Right. Like BW6, right? First place in the league right now, 5-1. Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jordan Addison, Tyreek Hill. Like, that's why he's up there in first. Now, could he fall off in 2025? Yeah. I mean, you don't really know what teams are going to do year to year, but to me, it's not like, oh, look at this. Like in 2025, I'm sitting on a gold mine, right? Roster constructed around wide receivers that all have, maybe another 2-3 years in them of elite production. So not crazy to say that they'll still be competing next year. Who's the other one? Matthias?
Yeah,
Matta. A little bit worse, towards the bottom of the league, right? Kind of middle of the pack, 3-3. Puka Nacua, Hollywood, Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, David Montgomery, Travis Etienne, right? Like Mark Andrews, players of note. So also, again, like nothing super glaring to me where I go, oh, panic. 2025 would be even worse. Like if this was, I don't know who we got down here at the bottom, right? Let me go. Ooh, how about this dude who's
there's 2 teams that look really, really bad. The By the Way 9, which is, by the way, he's the one loading up on the picks, so it's not, you're not going to pre-getting his first. And this other one is Carjarton Lang.
Yeah, that team's god awful.
So if you're sending one of those, I could maybe have a little pause, but you're not. So I'm in. I'm good.
Yeah, I want Achane here. It was a long-winded way of saying Achane, but it's kind of cool to figure out, right, with the defense, because on the surface, I tell you 3 defense don't matter, but I can also tell you that you can really change those scorings where all of a sudden TJ Watt is, much more valuable to your team than Patrick Mahomes. And who would have thought when we did the startup that you'd actually be saying that?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. When I look at 3D, it's basically, I know that it's very highly chance it's irrelevant unless you tell me, though, like if you stack some scoring up and we have elite potential at, forget the positions, almost any of the positions. If you're telling me there's the elite ones score high, especially like linebackers and defensive ends, we're having a conversation. Outside of that, man, the 3 defense is just not. It ain't there. So Interesting one. Yeah, I was looking at that and I was thinking Superflex at first, and I'm like, I'm ready to go the other way. Like, all right, like let's
smash.
Like,
smash.
I like Achane, but come on, man.
Two first?
No,
Superflex 12
no.
team is easy.
Yeah, I was ready to get out of here on a a high note, but then we had to start digging deep.
Then you sneak that one QB thing in, and you go, ugh. Now,
I had to retrain my brain, and it was all weird, you know.
That's usually my reaction to one QB, anyways. Ugh.
Yeah, a little heebie-jeebie type, you know.
Ugh. Shout out to Underdog too. Well, like, make this Superflex like contest like a year-round thing, right? Like, who wants to play Best Ball Mania with just one quarterback? Make these people buy quarterbacks.
Come on, man.
Come on, just make it a year-round thing.
We're all getting used to new things, right? Nobody likes change, but you have to get used to change, right? We don't even have to get used to change. Superflex makes it where the quarterbacks are valuable. One quarterback doesn't. Like, it doesn't. Look at the NFL. Look at how important quarterbacks are. Why are we doing this one QB thing where it's like, you can just punt on it for forever, you know?
Shout out Underdog. We'll be brand ambassadors too. You just make Best Ball Mania Superflex all the time. Trust us.
Every day.
Make it like 25 roster spots too. Like, just move it up just a little bit.
Get a little greasy, you know? Add them spots in, man. We'll be just fine.
Just a little bit. Oh, this is a good one.
It was, man. It was fun.
We got a little Flex Seal. We got some Pacheco love.
We got a lot of potential from this trade show here. You know, Christian, the thumbnail. We got all kind of things.
It could go anyway. It could go anyway. Up, down, left, right. For us, might just go in a circle. You know.
Listen, if you're tapped in and you see the trade shows, you're starting to get a feel for McNutted, but you don't know him quite like I do. And I hear him talking them tight ends, and just the first thing immediately that comes to mind is that damn commercial. Flex Seal, just the guy smacking that Flex Seal up on there. Bang.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Tape, the super strong waterproof tape.
That's Mike, man. Kmet, here we go.
I'd rather be that guy than the ShamWow guy. Right? They're punching hookers.
Oh, no.
Oh, be that guy.
ShamWow.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'll take Flex Seal too. Yeah, easy. Yeah, last deal on the trade show. I'll take Flex Seal.
At least I could, put a boat across the lake, even if I cut the bottom out. Right, just put a screen door in.
Boom, done.
Put some Flex Seal, some Flex Tape, some Flex Foam, Flex. Just put Flex whatever.
Speaking of which, if you're looking at your league and you're looking to find a way to patch this damn thing together, you made a mess. SouthHarmonFF.com/warp. Koopa will get you fixed. He will be your Flex Seal. $6.90 a month. Best investment you ever made. It literally is like Flex Seal. You put it up on that hole, brand new. You can be brand new. You just got to listen to the instructions. So
I wonder if we change his name in Discord from, the Mike Ross run was fun, the suits thing, but
Flex
now
Seal?
maybe we just make him Flex Seal.
Yeah, because you know what? He's going to be like, Mike. He's like Flex Seal, or he's like a barber that takes a lot of these bad haircuts that come in, right? Like Koopa in the middle of the late part of the year is going to be getting a lot of these, save me. How do you save me,
I can fix that. I like it. No, that's all I got. Great trade show. Go check out the website. And 30%, man. 30%. Let's get that down to like 15. Let's get it 15. And I promise you, we get them subscribers up to 5,000. Everybody gonna eat. Everybody gonna eat. I'm gonna go hog wild on this. I'm just gonna blow it all. We're maxing out cards left and right. Pristine auction. Hit me up if you need a partnership. Trust me, I'll probably drop way too much money on your website. We're gonna get some dope ass shit.
Well, I know where all the money from the Warp Tool went. And on that note, we will see you back here, same time, same place next week for the 40 Chess Dynasty Trade Show. We're out of this thing. Peace.